Hello, my name is Christina French, and I go by Stina or Miss French if you prefer formality, and I am your guide through Literature 115 this fall semester. I like to put up a little video at the beginning of the semester to lead you guys through some of what's going to happen in our course. Hi, and let me show you around inside of our course website, and then we'll look a little bit at the syllabus together. Here's our homepage. And you'll see as I scroll down that here's where the video is going to go. This is obviously not the video yet because I have not mastered time travel. So this is just a different video that I posted. Here is a reminder of most of what I'm about to say to you. I think I'm going to cover most of it in my little video right now, but just in case, you should read through and make sure. Here's an announcement of our course theme. That's pretty important. This is an intro to literature course, but I have chosen an erotic literature theme. And that's a bit of an oversimplification. It's actually an erotic literature and human sexuality themed course. And so if you feel like that may be a trigger for you or something you're just not into, you might want to rethink the enrollment in this course. Some of the texts make me blush, and I am not one to easily blush. So that's what this news announcement right here is about. If you scroll down a little further, it's talking to you about our first assignments. There is an assignment that's not graded, just for you to introduce yourself to your classmates, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then you've got a link to your first graded homework. And so this talks about that a little bit. And again, I'll show you in just a moment where those are. And here's the last little note, our news item I want to share with you to start the class. Here are your texts. You do need them. You need them soon. The first two that you need, as you see here, are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and this book called Jack's Naughty Bits. Those are the first two books we'll read from. They're also the shortest. So two of our books are rather long, especially the annotated Lolita. So I recommend you get all your books now and go ahead and start reading through them. If you want to do a really good job on your essays and on the homework prompts, you won't just read your texts once, you'll read them twice or even 3 times. So I do think you should get them all as soon as possible. They're very inexpensive. I'm not supposed to say this, but you can buy them on Amazon for even cheaper than the bookstore is selling them. And you can usually get them overnighted and still pay less than you will at the bookstore. Don't quote me on that. So anyway, those are just the things I wanted to call to your attention to start. If we click over here to content, you'll see I've put all the documents that are necessary for the entire class up already. You have these general documents, which will include things like your syllabus and schedule, which we're about to look at, assignment sheets for various things, writing review, writing tips or requirements. And then I have it broken up here into all the materials related to your first essay, including a grade rubric and examples of that essay, the assignment sheet, all of that. And then I have it broken up into your second essay. And again, just help with that, various examples, the assignment sheet. Oops, that should be up here. Let me move that. And then I have just some readings. Most of your readings are going to be accessible as links on the internet, but some of them are in PDF form right here. And then these are just some extra documents. Some of them I link you to in the discussion areas, and some of them I've just thrown in here in case you find them helpful or would like to read them. For instance, there's this little PDF here that's just a really cool comic about writer's block that a lot of my creative writing students really like. So my literature students have started asking me to have it. So I put it up there for you from the get-go. If you click on class list right here, most of you who are used to D2L already know this, but for those of you who aren't, I wanted to show you how you can email one person versus several people. So let's say, hey, Casey Jones is someone who gave me a great peer review. I really want to thank Casey Jones. So you click on Casey Jones and up comes a little box so you can thank Casey, if my internet will allow it anyway. There it comes. Okay, so if you want to email multiple people, you're going to click there. So for instance, you're going to have a final exam that is a group created exam. So that might be a time when you want to get in here and email multiple people. So you click there and click email, and then, so I'm not going to wait for that to load painfully the way we did the other one. So we'll just go ahead and X out. You'll have to trust me that that works. Okay, so if you're looking at this menu bar, the next thing we need to look at is discussions. This is where you'll mostly be spending your time during the class. Here's that introductions post I mentioned that one of the news items links you to. This is the first thing you need to do. The first day that you sign in, please go ahead and give a little shout out and tell us a little about yourself. And another link to the syllabus and schedule. I link to it everywhere, which should tell you I really want you to read it. Here's a thread on, this is also an ungraded thread where you can just, hey, my band is playing on Friday night, come watch me, or I'm going to go to a poetry slam, well, let's all go as a class field trip, or whatever. That's just a little social thread. Q&A, this is where we can ask questions publicly and hopefully all get answers to them collectively. This is a thread on your discussion leadership, which is one of your major assignments that your syllabus outlines, and there's an assignment sheet already up for it in the content area, and I think I link it right here. Yes, right there. And then there's a thread on your exam, and the assignment sheet is right there. Those are all ungraded threads just for your own benefit. Here is where the work of the class is going to happen. There are about 20 of these posts. That's your homework for the semester. And they're all titled with the main subject we'll be dealing with. And then if you click inside, you're always going to have an instructions post. It's going to tell you exactly what to do. And so that's what this looks like. So you can click around in there and check out what the different prompts are. Sometimes I give bonus posts in here, so if you don't feel like you're doing as well as you'd like to be, or if you missed a post, you can do one of these bonus posts to replace a lower or a missing grade, so that's cool. So here you see I have instructions, I have the poems related to the post, and then I have an example post. Sometimes if I'm looking for something really specific from you, I'll give you an example of what I'm looking for. So that's the discussion area. So say you're over here and you click on Dropbox. We have 3 major assignments for the class. Again, the syllabus tells you more details on those, and you have an assignment sheet for each of those. But here are the drop boxes for those. Hello, my cat is very loud. Cat, I'm recording. Can you hold on there for a minute? Very sweet cat. Most annoying meow in the history of the world. I may have to pause this and let her out. Actually, let me just go run and let her out really fast. I'll be right back. Okay. Dad. Go. I am too lazy to re-record this, so I'm just going to leave that in as a sort of it's life. I have a loud, annoying cat. Okay, so these are, I was in the grade book, right? Yeah, these are where your 3 major assignments for the class go. And one problem people who are new to D2L often have with that is that they upload their document, but then they forget to hit submit after they've uploaded it. And that can result in you turning in your work late and thinking you turned it in. So always go back in and make sure it loaded after you hit submit. Let's see, we don't do quizzes in this class, yay, or surveys, yay, but you do have grades. So here's what that looks like. There are no grades in here right now, obviously, or I wouldn't be showing you the grade book because I think that's some sort of a violation of your privacy. But this is what the grade book looks like. It'll keep, not only is it going to show you your grades as we go, at the very end, it's going to show you, sorry, go one more. It's going to show you what your final calculated grade is as we go. So that's a pretty cool feature of the grade book. You're always going to know where you're standing in the class if you bother to check in with the grade book. And so I think that's everything in the course website I wanted to show you. Again, basically most of your time is going to be here in this discussions area, dealing with these graded homework posts. Let's see. Let's go and look at the syllabus for a minute. And that's over here. I've already downloaded it, but again, it's linked everywhere in your site. It's over here on the home page, under the video introduction. There it is. It's linked in the discussions area in the very first post under introductions. So there's lots of ways to get there. You can also go straight to the content area to important class documents, get to it there. And there it is. So we're going to go ahead and go into it here. And you've seen enough of my ugly mug, so I'm going to cover me up and look at the syllabus with you. So it gives you all the main information here, the ways to reach me, gives you a good sort of a statement on the best way to title your emails or give a subject header to your emails so that I know how to prioritize what you're communicating with me about. Sometimes I'll ignore an email that doesn't have a good subject line. I'll just assume it's not that important. My main office hour is Wednesday, 3 to 4. That's when you know I'll be sitting down in front of a computer um, responding to your questions, but of course I'm going to answer email from you all week long. I'm not available on the weekends or at night generally. Sometimes you'll catch me on there, but you can't count on it. I have 2 children and I like to have a pretty active family life, so I'm not sort of like always on duty, you know. So past 5 p.m. on a Friday, you can't be sure you'll reach me. So plan your communicating around that. Here are all your textbooks listed. Again, a lot of them will be internet links, especially all of the information about literature, about the elements of literature, and about literary criticism. All of that stuff's going to be through the internet, like it says here. Description of the course. I'm not going to read that to you or talk it at you, but you should read it and see how I feel about literature, what my philosophy is going into this class. Here's the outlines, you know, that the school wrote up, blah, blah. That's sort of boring. But I will do all of it as told to receive my pay by the institution. I promise you. Class expectations. I'm going to go over a couple of these things with you, but again, I'm relying on you to read it word for word on your own. One thing that I do need you to know is that I don't allow late work. I give you a freebie, which means you have 1 extra day to hand it in. Otherwise, you're going to lose 10 points per day. And after the 10-day mark, it's just a 0. There's probably no point in you handing it in. You can't pass this class, I'm pretty sure, if you don't turn in one of the major essays anyway. Let's see. The homework posts, the ones over here in the discussion area, I don't allow those to be late at all. So even if you're 1 day late on those, they just don't count. But I dropped the lowest one there, and there'll be 20 overall. So even if you miss a couple, your average should be reasonable at the end of the semester. But otherwise, you know, you have to keep up with them. No computer ate my homework excuses. Let's see. There's a note about plagiarism here, which we'll talk more about how to research sources and cite sources later on. But you should read that. Here's the class work. So it talks about that late work policy. It talks about each category of grades. So the homework posts are 20% of your class grade. The discussion leadership, which again, you can read about that in the assignment sheet. It's already posted. That's 10% of your grade. Peer review, 5% each time, 10% total. Each essay is 25%. That's no small percent. So I do recommend that you work with me on that ahead of time. I don't allow rewrites. That's another thing you should know starting off early. I think I wrote that up here. Yeah, I do not allow rewrites of your major essays. So work with me, work with the Writing Center. You can work with the online Writing Center, which I've linked you to many times in your course website too. And then you have a final exam, which is actually kind of the fun assignment of the semester. It's you'll have to read about it, but you create it in a group, and it's a role-playing skit. So anyway, if you're into theater or drama, you'll like that, I think, or screenwriting. Here is some information on the grade scale. This is a admonishment or a reminder to check D2L's gradebook throughout the semester to see how you're doing. And then if you're interested in receiving extra credit, here's a note right there about that. Won't read it to you. And then here's the course schedule. This is where I lay out everything that's due every week, all the readings and the expectations, the major due dates. You know, down here you'll see your first essay and draft is due. And then in the discussion boards, I give you the instructions as to what you're supposed to do with these readings. So you're going to want to have ready access to this document as you go through, because sometimes the readings are not linked in the discussion area. Sometimes they're just in the book that you bought, right? So you'll need to be able to see. If you look, Lolita and Fun Home, those are our longest books. So I would get started on those as early as you can. I would not wait, say, until early October to start those. Here, I would say, is the most complicated section of the class as far as we'll be dealing with our most difficult material in these 2 weeks. We'll be dealing with critical theory, postmodernism, feminist literary criticism, psychoanalytic literary criticism. So I would budget plenty of time to read those materials twice and carefully, and maybe even be able to come by or not come by because I'm not on campus this semester, but to talk to me during office hour or over email otherwise. By the way, I'm not on campus this semester, so I'm truly fully online, so we can Skype. We can set up a meeting to Skype. I'd like to do it during my Wednesday office hour, but if that's not a good day for you, we can set up an appointment to Skype some other time, or we can just chat. GChat works, or the chat function within D2L is okay. We can use that. So anyway, I'm only online this semester. You won't find me on campus. I think that's everything I wanted to say. I guess I'll just end with sort of a warning. Aside from the theme, which could be a trigger for some of you, the class is also, it's an online class. If you've never taken an online class before, please know that online classes are notoriously more difficult for a lot of students than face-to-face, because I'm not there to cheerlead you and to really push you, and that vibe, that face-to-face vibe isn't there. And so a lot of times you kind of forget and you kind of tune out as to what's going on in the online class. So make sure you feel like you have enough self-motivation and organizational skills, like you're going to be able to remember, oh yeah, every Friday I go in and do this, every Monday I go in and do this, you know. Make sure that you feel like you can succeed. The online environment can, you lose more students throughout the semester in an online class typically, and the grades tend to be a lot more dichotomous. You get a lot more A's and then failing grades. So people are kind of either ready for an online class or they're not. So think about where you are. Be sure you're in it to win it, so to speak. And I look forward to working with you this semester. I love our texts. I love talking about these texts. And I think we're going to have a great time. So welcome aboard. Did it start? I thought it usually said when it starts. I guess that was a hello, blah, blah. And if you click here, you'll see blah, blah. And if you click here, you'll see gold poop. Gold poop. This is my personal email account. Let's check out and see if I have anything naughty going on in there. No, I don't. That's my favorite comedian, Dimitri Martin. He's really funny. He's kind of hot too in a sort of autistic way. Okay, so F10.